Good. You've given some reasons, but what do you feel is one of the basic or main reasons Catholics are deciding to have homeschooling?
Well, as I say, I think once they've had their children in a school that's supported with state money, they're making the decision because of the sex education and the poor quality education, of course. But those who haven't had their children in the school are definitely choosing it because of family life, how it strengthens family life and strengthens their faith. There's no question about those. Those are the main reasons.
How do you get the funds? Where do the funds come from for this?
Well, this is private education. Parents pay their own way. It's about $500 a year. That is, when I say that, I mean that includes tuition, the cost of books, the shipping, everything is about $500 a year. We do have discounts for additional children, so it's not unusually expensive.
I understand you don't get any federal, state, or county aid. How about the archdiocese? Do they give any assistance?
No,
they don't?
no, not exactly. However, individual pastors and priests and nuns do often help a family, yes. But after all, the diocesan schools have their own system, and they're not exactly going to support the competition, which is independent schooling, which is what we're talking about, private homeschooling. I have to say, though, remember, the church is very supportive of families taking on this responsibility. So while we are not getting funding, we are getting support in other ways. We're having priests who are willing to help homeschooling families. See, the homeschoolers, you realize, of course, the vocations are coming from the homeschooling families, and a lot of priests and religious orders are realizing this. So they're having, the children, of course, are attending Mass every day. That's what happens in Catholic homeschooling families. They go to confession on a regular basis. They're the altar boys. So the priests have come to understand, a lot of the parish priests, that the faith is growing and is alive and strong in Catholic homeschooling families. So what the priests are starting to do is starting to make changes in the parish. They're starting to have special classes. There's a priest in Portland, Oregon, who just added a room to his church just to provide space for the homeschoolers to come and meet with him and have religion class. You see, there's support groups in every city. I mean, people think, you know, they don't know homeschooler. I can tell you that everyone knows at least one homeschooling family. What we encourage our families to do is wear a big button. I love homeschooling, great big heart on, you know, go to the grocery store. Inevitably, somebody comes up and says, I'm interested in that, or I'm a homeschooler too. I didn't know you were homeschooling, you know. Yeah. And they're homeschool. Well, there are 1 million families in this country. And I have to say that the pastors are really coming around to helping the homeschoolers. They recognize the faith-filled families.
Which of the two parents do the teaching? Is it mostly the mother or the father? It's
mostly the mother, but you know, the father has to be involved. We really believe, see, it's a family operation here. You know, homeschooling, the purpose of homeschooling is not just to strengthen the faith, but to strengthen the family. So we want the father to be very much involved. Nevertheless, some fathers can't actually teach a class. But if they just, when they come home in the evening, let me see what you did today, Susie. Let me see your math, Johnny. Just being supportive in that way. Helping out around the house while Mom is doing some teaching. In whatever way they can be supportive. But being supportive makes all the difference in the world. We think the father has a very important place in the family, and it's important for him to interact with the children. See, the children see their dad all the time now, you know, if Dad's home. It's not a situation where they don't get to see their dad because Dad has unusual hours. It's great.
Mary, before we take a break,
sure.
With regards to the parent who's teaching, do you have burnouts after maybe a year or two?
You see, I think the Catholic family can avoid burnout by living the Catholic family lifestyle. This means the sacramental life. The way to start the day is to go to Mass every day and to have that spiritual help every single day, to be attending confession every other week, you know, not just the minimum. Of course, the minimum is once a year, then the church says, well, at least once a month. We say twice a month. That kind of spiritual support in the family keeps the children good. And it gives the mother the strength to teach. With that kind of spiritual foundation, homeschooling can and is successful.